All right, let's go and talk about Module 1, Introduction. So let's talk about why this class is important. Basically, understanding version control is a fundamental skill that all students need to learn. All respectable software companies require this type of knowledge. If you ever find yourself working at a company that does not use version control, you should run away because things are going to go off the rail quite quickly. It is a skill that is as fundamental as using a compiler, a debugger, or an IDE. It is something that is considered a core skill in your software engineering toolkit. On top of that, version control is universal. So really, no matter where you end up working, you'll need it. Even if you end up not being a software engineer, version control is present in more than just software engineering tools. So this class has a time commitment of roughly 8 hours per week. It's a 5-week course, and this is per university regulations. What I would recommend is you start by watching the videos, read the assigned chapters in the textbook, and then take the quiz and complete any other assigned items. Version control is everywhere, even outside of software engineering. Google Docs has built-in version control. Microsoft Word has a change called track changes that you can use when you're handing a document around in, say, an English class. Git is just a specialized version control that is tuned towards software developers. So it's really, the fundamentals are the same. So let's go talk about Git. So Git is incredibly complex. It is a large tool, and it has a very broad set of features. I don't expect you to be an expert in Git after this class, just to know the basics. Basically, the only way to get really good at using Git is to practice. A lot of things that you're going to do in Git are going to happen when you start working in large teams. And the larger the team and the more commits, the more of the advanced features you're going to have to use. Just using Git in a solo environment, you can get by with just the basics. I would recommend that everybody use Git in all your classes, even if your instructor doesn't require it. At the end of this class, you'll have a GitHub account, you'll have a GitHub page, and you can start using it to track all your software projects. So now let's talk about GUIs. GUI stands for Graphical User Interface. So there are a lot of GUIs out there. You can go to git-scm.com, download GUIs, and you can see how many there are. Basically, in this class, I would recommend that you use the command line while you're learning. First of all, the command line is the only place that you can run all Git commands. Most of the GUIs do not implement the entire range of features. They only implement a partial subset, because a partial subset will get you by 80% of the time. That last 20%, you're going to have to use the command line. In addition to the command line holding all of the features, it is also the only place that you can easily automate your workflow. For example, if you always want to pull down the latest changes every morning or push them up to the server at night, doing that with a GUI can be difficult. So I would recommend learning it on the command line, and then in everyday practice, you can use a tool like VS Code or Git Kraken or whatever you like to interact on a daily basis. Once you learn the command line, you learn the GUI, but the reverse is not always the case.